Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today, as promised, we are going to do a deep dive and just look at everything we know about the Division Heartland. Obviously, yesterday was Ubisoft Forward, the big event that a lot of people were waiting for, as we knew we were getting news about the Division 2, Heartland, and Resurgence, and we did indeed get updates on all three games, but of course, as you all know, the one I was most excited for is the Division Heartland. We finally have some official gameplay that was released, and we're going to go over frame by frame on that and analyze everything we have seen, and as well, I'm going to take you guys through a lot of these different things that have been updated with new Heartland information and let you know absolutely everything you need to know about this upcoming free-to-play spinoff for the Division franchise. The first place I wanted to start, even though it isn't necessarily directly Heartland related, is that the Division's Twitter account has updated to now just be the Division Universe account, and I am so stoked by this because this is exactly what I had said I thought they should do, and other people had different opinions, and that's fine, but they're now marketing the Division as a universe. As you can see, includes the Division 2, Heartland, and the Division Resurgence, and this is the same account that used to be known as the Division 2 one, and it now encompasses all of the different games, and I think that's so cool. I think that's such a smart marketing move, and I'm just really excited by that. Had to show it here. It includes Heartland to a degree, and as you can see, they now obviously give updates about Heartland, about Division 2, about Resurgence. It's just really cool. I think this is a really smart way to do it, and I can't wait to see this evolve and develop over time. But all right, let's get into the Heartland breakdown and news. The first bit is that the Division Heartland's website has now been redone and overhauled with all of the new artwork and information that we have about the game. So I'm just going to read this quickly. Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland is a free-to-play multiplayer survival action shooter set in a fictional, that's a notable detail compared to the Division 1 and 2, rural community in Middle America. Play as a trained Division agent from across the nation and answer the distress call to uncover the ever-evolving mysteries of a rural community in mid-crisis. Register now for a chance to join future closed tests. So that is a bit of a breakdown of the game overall. Again, I think fictional is one of the most interesting bits there because up until now, part of the DNA of the Division has always been creating an authentic New York and DC, and so to switch from that now is pretty interesting, but I'm intrigued to see how that's going to play out. Obviously, we know it's Silver Creek, and we'll go into that later, but yeah, this is now the Division Heartland's website. You can still come in here and sign up for those closed tests, of which we know there will be more in the future, so do that if you are so inclined. That's about all they have on their website here. Let's move on to the next bit, and that is that the Division Heartland has showed back up again for like the millionth time on the Ubisoft store, and the only reason why I'm pointing this out, it's still got some typos. I mean, it's, the Division Heartland. All right. The only reason I bring it up is because they've actually updated it with two new images that we didn't have before. These two were the same that were in those listings previously, but we now have this one, which shows an agent here with melee weapons, and yeah, just a lot of different, this looks like the base operations that we will see later in the gameplay trailer, but you can see different people here. This dude's got like a scythe on his back. I mean, that's pretty extreme. Yeah, this looks like the base, pretty cool. And then this one gives a bit of a more detailed look at some of the cosmetics and backpack stuff with these melee weapons. Looks really sick. I've waited for melee weapons for a long time, and it looks like Heartland is finally delivering those. All right, next up, we have this news article from Ubisoft, which, by the way, this is a pretty cool little picture here for Resurgence. But anyway, it kind of breaks down the news that we got from Ubisoft Forward for all the three Division games, but it does give us some interesting details that they did not necessarily mention during the stream for Heartland. So let's read this out. The Division Heartland. New details have emerged on The Division Heartland, an upcoming free-to-play multiplayer shooter. This survival action game, again, a lot of people still saying it's a battle royale, not sure where you're getting that, will take Division agents to a new rural location in the Midwestern American town of Silver Creek. It's a quiet hamlet that has been ravaged by the dollar flu and has become a hotbed of Division activity thanks to the secrets it hides. Select from a new roster of playable characters and explore the town as you fight alongside and against other players. Register for a chance to play The Division Heartland early at their website. Players who join these test phases can help the development team shape the game with their feedback. The Division Heartland is coming to PC, consoles, and cloud in 2022 to 2023. So a lot of people were upset that we did not get a release date yesterday at Forward, and while this is still not a release date, it is a window, and we know that currently, at least according to Ubisoft's internal stuff, the game is supposed to come out by the end of fiscal 2022, which is March of 23, so it looks like right now they're still in the process of getting that release date locked down, and that could be any time from between now and March, and so it is still a bit of a wait, but, 6 months, I can deal with that. After we've waited for so long, now that we're getting more Heartland information, I can wait another 6 months at the worst. and that's when, at the very latest, we should finally have Heartland in our hands, and that's pretty exciting. All right, now we get to the real bit of this video. I want to show off the gameplay trailer and just the general breakdown trailer that we got yesterday during Forward, and kind of go frame by frame and analyze all the different bits of gameplay that we have. In case you missed it, I'm first just going to play it on its own so that you can see that, and then we're going to go over, like I said, frame by frame and break it down. So here we go.
Hey everyone, we're so excited to show you Heartland, an all-new standalone adventure in the Division universe. The teams poured their heart into this game, and we can't wait to share it with you. Welcome to Silver Creek. I'm Keith Evans, Creative Director on Heartland at Red Storm Entertainment. We've been involved here at Red Storm with the Division going back before the first game launched. Our partnership with Massive Entertainment made some games that we love. We're so excited to bring something new to fans of the franchise. Heartland's a free-to-play survival action shooter set in the Division universe that features streamlined survival gameplay and a beautiful new world to explore. You play as a Division agent, given the task of protecting Silver Creek, a small town in Middle America, from enemy factions, rogue agents, and a deadly contamination. This game ties directly into the timeline and introduces all new characters and storylines to the franchise. Heartland feels fresh and distinct while still feeling at home alongside the other amazing games in this universe. We can't wait to have you join us in Silver Creek.
All right, so there you have it. There is the breakdown that we got during the stream yesterday. Now, of course, I want to go through and just kind of talk about frame by frame what we see here. So we know, of course, this takes place in Silver Creek, which is a fictional town in Middle America in the Heartland. Pretty cool backdrop. I mean, we can tell that it's taking place in the fall. We've seen that in some of the images before, and there's some of the red on the trees and the one down here. So fall is a new setting for a Division game, and I'm very excited for that. I think it'll spice things up a bit compared to the summer of the Division 2. Let me go a bit forward here. We can see these rural environments and this suburban area, which is something that we've really never gotten in any of the two Division games. I mean, I'm trying to think of different like suburbs. You could say a little bit in New York. I mean, it's different than this, but there were some more community-driven areas in the New York map. And in DC, I guess a little bit in Georgetown and one of the DZs, but for the most part, we've never gotten anything like this. And so if you're able to go in and explore these houses and loot up and do all that stuff, I mean, this is going to be an awesome new just type of environment to fight in. And I'm pretty excited for that to come to life. And then, of course, we switch to that same thing at nighttime. What do we got up here? And then playing on there. And obviously, Keith Evans is the one that is talking through this. And if you didn't know, he's the creative director on the game, and he was actually the guy that used to be alongside Terry on State of the Game way back in the day. And so it's pretty cool to see that he's now risen through the ranks and become the creative director of this game. I mean, if you want faith that this is going to stay true to the Division, there's probably nobody who could better helmet than somebody who's been working on the Division IP for, 7 years now, maybe even more. So that's pretty cool side bit of information. All right, we get an overview here of a different location here within Silver Creek, downtown historic district. Pretty cool. You got this red glow going on, which looks pretty sweet. Let's move on now to whatever the next bit is. Goes back to Keith. Here we get a cool overview of the Silver Creek water tower, which we've seen in a few other photos, but it's cool to see it in game. You got the sun coming up, and then I think a similar view. Heartland, Red Storm. I'm just so glad that Red Storm is finally getting their own solo game. I mean, we've talked about that before, but I don't know. It's just really cool to me. But of course, this is all taking place in their studio. Like I said, Keith Evans, creative director. Another location here. Got a bowling alley. I mean, Division always does sub-locations very well. Think back to like the nightclub in the West Side Piers in Division 1. Think to, I don't know, some of those camps where they were dumping a bunch of the bodies in Div 1. In Div 2, you could think about like, I don't know, any of the DZs who are all very stylized. Their mini locations within the map are always done very well, and I have no doubt that Heartland will continue that trend. I mean, you can see some like nuclear towers over here. You got this bowling alley. I'm sure we're going to have some fun new locations to explore, and I'm really excited that it's a new location like that. We switch to this street, which again has this kind of red glow, so I don't know if this might be some sort of contamination or stuff. I mean, they mentioned that, I think, in this video and some of the other stuff, so that could be what that is. Pizza restaurant, you know, your typical Division stuff. But again, the setting of the small town, I think, is very much in contrast to the other two games, and I'm excited to see if that translates at all to a different type of gameplay. We see the base of operations. Heartland will indeed have its own base of operations. As for what type of building this is, you can't really tell. attention something there. But anyway, we know we're getting a base of ops. That's pretty sweet and good to know. I mean, it wasn't necessarily confirmed since it was going to be a different type of game. Well, that's right. You then see in here that, if I can get a spot where it's not quite so blurry, a Starcade. So I don't know if this base of ops might be a bit of an arcade type of deal. Yeah, not too many clues as to that, although you can see some stuff there. But as you can see, pretty standard for your base of operations. This looks like that tax center where you can see the map later on. That looks pretty sweet. A few stations over here where I'm sure you'll put together, crafting and stuff like that. The same type of stuff that we have in the Division 1 and 2, you can probably expect to see here. So that all looks pretty sweet. Let's see what we have next. Then it goes to this. All right, let me just play this bit for a second.
Shooter.
I know it's a short little... Oh, this looks cool too. We'll get to that. But this short little bit, I just think this looks so sick with the red glow up here. Again, that must be the contamination stuff. You can see this agent's holding an MG5 pistol. Can't see what else there. But the melee weapons, the glowing... what is it called? The patch, your shade patch. I mean, it's just... I don't know. I'm in love with Heartland's aesthetic overall. And I think it's going to be super sick to play. And then we get to this bit. Where can I get a better freeze frame? Where you can see one of the enemies, the vultures. And look at this design. I love that. The mask is actually shaped like the beak of a vulture. I think that's so sick. I want to get a slightly better one, but it's probably pretty blurry. No. Either way, you can tell what's going on here. They have some cool red design. I like the blue little mark on the knee. What else can we see here? They got a weapon down here. Looks like one of the M700s. That might be the melee grenade. That looks like a turret symbol. We got an armor bar and a health bar. So kind of taken after a little bit what Division 2 did. Up here, there is a bit of what looks like a contamination thing. And I'm not too sure what this is. Then we got the mini-map over here, which of course is pretty standard for many Division games. You get a time of day thing here, which is not something that we currently have in the Division 2 that's not accessible without photo mode. So that's nice that they're adding that into the base experience of the game. But you can see they're completing a mission called Silver Creek Recon where they're just exploring. You can see the agent right here, the enemy, some sort of little, I don't know, patrol there or something. This might be that same contamination that we hear about earlier. You got some different, a beer garden, a church. Again, I think the small town setting of this game allows for a bit more variety, especially that it's fictional. They can create whatever little environments they want to since it's not actually a real town. And even though that does stray a bit from what Division has focused on in the past, I'm excited to see what that manifests into. So again, this enemy design, love it. And this gives us a little glimpse of gameplay. You can see then when they scope out, if I can get a better... That's about it. You can see a bit of the environment here. Of course, that's the same enemy they were just scoped in on. Yeah, Kerman Coffee making its comeback, of course. You can see the fall setting. They got their melee weapon. I think it's just, even if you're still iffy on the Division Heartland as a whole, and skepticism is good, it's warranted, I just think this environment and the tone of Heartland is going to be really cool to see. Then we get another bit of gameplay here with an agent going by here. This looks like that same contamination. You can see it's like halfway on this car. That's cool to see. They're doing a mission, Cool Heads Must Prevail, where they're proceeding to a location. Looks like down over here on the minimap. More stuff. We got the West Mansion. Doing that. More of the same stuff there. You can see now the melee weapon is selected on their UI there, their HUD. That's cool. What else? We got another bit of gameplay where they're running through here, exploring Silver Creek again. I don't know if that's an enemy or maybe a NPC. I can't quite tell, but they got, what is that, a G36 maybe? Let's play it for a sec. Yeah, it looks like a G36. More stuff. Very cool, very cool. Another bit. This one's a bit more... They slow down for a second so you can actually look. Again, I like this kind of art style with the lit up patch and that connects up to the brick. That's neat. What do they got here? A green police M4. Nice, nice. The salvage yard, more contamination. You got the water tower here that we've seen a lot of times. Again, I'm excited to have a new type of environment to go through. Because even though DC is very different than New York, it's still a big city. And that's not what Heartland is. And I'm just excited for that change after playing Division for 6 years now, Hate me if you want. Then we get to this bit, which looks pretty cool. We're getting towards, looks like nighttime here. I mean, it says 8:40 p.m. There's some contamination, the same water tower. This is the same character with the weapon and all that. Looks pretty cool. We got a different symbol up here than before. Before it was that virus-looking thing. Now we got that. That's interesting. Let's move on. Here we get to a part where... Well, this is pretty cool. Okay, so They're at an extraction zone. You can see that thing here. It says exfiltration helicopter arriving. Their mission is fear of the dark, survive the night. So they're getting out. They're not trying to survive the night. They're trying to extract. They got a turret here. So, of course, we're going to have skills in the Division Heartland, and you can see that represented down there. But then, I think there's a bit of a better view of it here. Rogue agents. I don't know what else these would be. They don't look like other players because there's no nameplate above their head, but that looks like a rogue agent to me. And that would certainly be pretty cool. I also like that there's a bit of a compass up here now, especially when you're in the dark zone. You know, in Div 2, having that kind of call out could be kind of nice for like a sniper or whatever. So that's nice that we're going to get that. Some pretty cool stuff you can decipher from some of these freeze frames here. Then we, of course, get somebody calling an extraction. Yeah, exfiltration arriving. They're just exploring. Pretty cool. This wall of contamination is menacing. That looks really cool. But, of course, we got the flare like usual. And then they just cut to some overviews. Got some bigger buildings here. So that's a nice distinction from the rest. But that all looks pretty standard. Same deal. Yeah, that looks like a rogue to me. You got that? They got a blue MPX. Oh, that went by so fast. See, this is why we freeze frame it, people. Except when I do that. We got to read this stuff. All right. I'm trying to get it where it's not. Okay, whatever. There's 2 agents here. You can see this one's in a group, which is not something we had seen before. Head to the exfiltration zone to escape the hunt. Sounds pretty interesting. Picking pockets, proceed to location. This one goes by in a split second, so I can't really freeze it better, but that's pretty neat. And then we got another agent here. Crafting on the go. Go to a public park. It's interesting. 8:30 a.m. This one's got a high-end M249, I think that is. So that's pretty interesting. What else we got down here? This one's just some NPCs walking. Looks like a Oaks Mill farmer, I think that says. Bit of like a grain silo. That's pretty cool. Then we got more ads walking through what looks like the contamination. Pretty sweet. This overview.
All new.
Oh no, right before.
All new.
I can't get it right on there. Come on. That's pretty cool. See the overview. You got a bit of a more stylized building there. That street, the light. I like the tone overall of the environment, and I'll be interested to see if that translates to the gameplay. Then we got this, where it looks like they're back in the base of operations, got that same aesthetic, and they're at this map where they're preparing for insertion into Silver Creek. This looks pretty sweet, that holographic. I mean, Division is always known for its cool AR displays and its maps and whatnot, but I think it switches, yeah. This is pretty sweet. So it looks like they're doing a mission called Crafting on the Go. Install a crafting module at the SHD beacons in town to activate beacon crafting. So that's pretty cool. If you could craft while you're out on the go, that's not something we've seen in the Division 1 or 2. But there's different, will look like extraction zones here. The whole map. It's pretty sweet. There are the different, the different sections. Greenwood, East Side, Oak Mills. Yeah, I'm just stoked, people. I really, this is going to be sick. Another one where they're heading to the zone to escape the hunt. That sounds pretty menacing. They're in the contamination there. Oh, look, she's running with a machete. Melee weapons, people. I've wanted melee weapons for so long in the Division, and Heartland is finally bringing it. How sick is that? I love that. And yeah, that machete looks pretty baller. That's going to be sick. Then it's more of that stuff with the ads at nighttime. Back to Keith. And that's about it. We see them going up for an extraction, as is standard in the Division. And there you have it, folks. That is about all of the information that I have at this point to break down to you and to go over and analyze for the Division Heartland. I mean, it's just, my brain can't even comprehend. Like, I've been waiting to talk about this game with some actual official information for 15 months. And we finally have it. Even though it's not, the most ever, and I've seen some people already complaining about that. It's like, we're going to get more over time. But to finally get this first look at the gameplay, to be able to actually break it down and talk about it, it's just absolutely so awesome to do for myself personally. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope this was a interesting and insightful breakdown into what we can expect for the Division Heartland that's coming soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on any and everything that we covered in this video. What do you think about the Division, the Division's official Twitter rebranding itself to kind of the Division Universe's overall thing? I think that's pretty cool. What do you think about any of these new images that popped up on the listing here? The news breakdown, the release date window, the gameplay, whatever you think. I want to hear your thoughts about it. And yeah, everybody, super glad to be able to do this video. Super fulfilling to me after waiting for so long to get this chance. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting few months ahead, believe me. That's going to do it for me today, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.